Hello, and welcome to Learn English Smartly. My name is Alex, and I am so happy you are here for our story today. Today, we have a very special story. It is a story about a man who had everything he thought he wanted. He had a big house, a nice car, and a successful company. He worked very hard to build a perfect life for his family. He thought that money and success were the most important things he could give them. But one day, he discovered that his life was not perfect at all. He realized that his quiet, shy daughter was living in a world of fear, and all his money could not help her. Her school was in English, and she could not speak. She felt lost and alone. This is the story of how that father stopped chasing money and success and started a new journey. It was a journey to help his daughter find her voice. But in helping her, he found something much more important. He found himself. This is the story of The Sound of My Daughter's Voice. It is a story about family, love, and learning what true happiness really means. It is a gentle, emotional story, perfect for listening and relaxing. Let's begin. My name is David. For many, many years, I believed that success was a mountain made of money. I thought if I could climb that mountain, I would find happiness at the top. I came from a very small village. My family was poor. We did not have much, but we had love. But as a young man, I wanted more. I wanted to give my future family a life without worry. So I moved to the big city. The city was loud, fast, and full of energy. I worked. I worked harder than anyone I knew. I started a small company. I worked from the moment the sun came up until long after the moon was high in the sky. My dream was simple: to be rich. To be successful, to be a man who could give his family everything. And slowly, my dream came true. My small company became a big company. The money came. First, a little, then a lot. I bought a beautiful, big house. It had many rooms, a large garden, and a tall, white gate. I bought a fast, expensive car. It was black and shiny. I wore expensive suits. I ate at expensive restaurants. From the outside, my life was a perfect picture of success. I had a wife, Maria. She was a kind woman with a warm heart. And we had a daughter, Lily. Lily was my world. She was a small, quiet girl with big brown eyes that were full of dreams. She loved to draw. Her room was her kingdom, and its walls were covered with her art. She drew happy suns, smiling animals, and tall green trees. She was a gentle soul. Everything I did, I told myself I was doing it for Maria and Lily. Every long night at the office, every missed weekend, every time I chose work over family, I told myself, this is for them. This will make them happy. This will keep them safe. But I was a ghost in my own home. I would leave for work so early in the morning that the house was still dark and quiet. Lily would be asleep in her little bed. I would kiss her forehead, a soft, quick kiss, and then I would leave. I would come home very late at night. The house would be dark and quiet again. Lily would already be asleep. I would look at her, my beautiful daughter, and feel a mix of pride and a strange, quiet sadness. I heard about her life from my wife. Maria would tell me, "Lily learned to ride her bike today," or "Lily made a new friend at the park." I would listen and smile. I was happy for her. But I was not there to see it. I was just hearing the story of my daughter's life, not living it with her. I gave them things. So many things. If Lily wanted a new toy, I bought her the biggest and best one. If she wanted a new dress, I bought her 3. For her birthday, we went on expensive vacations to faraway places. I thought these things were love. I thought this was how a good father showed he cared. I was building a palace for my family. But I did not realize that a palace can be a very lonely place if the king is never there. One day, Maria and I made a big decision. We decided to send Lily to a new school. It was the best school in the city, an international school. All the classes, all the books, all the conversations were in English. I was so proud. I thought, this is it. This is the key to her future. My hard work has made this possible. Maria was happy, but she was also worried. She came to me one evening. I was on my computer, looking at work emails, as always. "David," she said softly, "I am worried about Lily." "Worried?" I asked, not looking up from my screen. "Why?" "This school is a wonderful opportunity." "I know," she said, "but her English is not very strong. You know how she is. She is very shy. She is a quiet girl. What if she is scared? What if she feels alone?" I finally looked up from my computer. I smiled a confident smile. "Maria, my love," I said, "don't worry. Lily is a smart girl. She will be fine. Children learn languages so quickly. She will be speaking perfect English in a few months. This is the best thing for her." I believed my own words. I believed that any problem could be solved by throwing money at it. The best school, the best books. That was the answer. I did not understand that the real problem was not about English. It was about fear. It was about confidence. And those are things that money cannot buy. So, Lily started her new school, and my perfect, successful world began to crack. The first week was a disaster. I would come home late, and Maria would be waiting for me. Her face was always sad. She did not say a single word in class today. "David," she told me on the first day. The teacher asked her a question, and she just looked down and her eyes filled with tears. I felt a sting of annoyance. "She just needs to be brave," I said. "She has to try." I was thinking like a businessman. I saw it as a challenge to overcome, not as my daughter's pain. The second day was the same. "The other children were playing together in the schoolyard," Maria said. "Lily just stood in a corner, all alone. She doesn't know how to talk to them." By the end of the week, the stories were worse. "She told me she feels sick every morning," Maria said, her voice shaking. "She doesn't want to go to school. She cries when I leave her there." The small seed of worry in my heart started to grow. But I was in the middle of a huge project at work. I was busy. I was stressed. I pushed the worry away. "It's just a new place," I told Maria. "She will get used to it. She just needs more time." I was a fool. I was so busy building a future for my family that I was blind to the pain they were feeling in the present. Then came the evening that changed my life forever. I came home early that day. It was a surprise. I had finished my work and I wanted to see my family. The house was quiet. Too quiet. A heavy, sad silence. I walked upstairs. I went to Lily's room. The door was open just a little bit. I looked inside, and what I saw broke my heart into a million pieces. My daughter, my happy little Lily, was sitting on her bed. She was not drawing. She was not playing. She was holding an English schoolbook in her small hands. And she was crying. It was not loud, angry crying. It was the most heartbreaking sound in the world. It was the sound of silent, lonely tears. They rolled down her small face and fell onto the pages of the book. She was so small, so lost, so alone in her big, beautiful room. At that moment, the mountain of my success felt like a pile of dust. My big house felt like a cold prison. My money felt like useless paper. I walked into the room. The floorboards creaked. She looked up. Her big brown eyes were red and full of a pain that no child should ever feel. "Lily?" I said, and my own voice was a stranger to me. It was soft. It was scared. "What's wrong, my love?" "Talk to Daddy." She looked at me, and her small face crumbled. "Daddy," she whispered, her voice shaking. "I can't do it. I can't do it." She started to cry more, her small body shaking. "I don't understand the teacher. He talks so fast. The words, they are just noises. And the other children, they look at me and they whisper. I think they are laughing at me." She buried her face in her hands. "I have no friends, Daddy. I eat my lunch alone. I stand in the corner alone. I am so alone." I sat down on the bed next to her. I pulled her into my arms. She was so small, so fragile. I held her tight. I could feel her tears on my shirt, and for the first time I felt the true weight of my choices. I had provided everything for her except the one thing she really needed: me. I held her until her crying stopped. I stroked her hair. I did not know what to say. The man who could command a boardroom was speechless in front of his own child's sadness. That night, after Lily was asleep, I sat in the dark living room. I did not turn on the lights. I did not turn on the TV. I just sat there, and I thought. I thought about my life. I had been running a race to get more, to be more. But I had been running in the wrong direction. I had been running away from the finish line, not towards it. The finish line was not a bigger bank account. It was my family. It was my daughter's smile. It was her happy voice. I had failed. I was a successful man, but I was a failing father. That night, in the quiet darkness of my big empty house, I made a new promise. I would not just fix this problem. I would become the father my daughter deserved. My new work, my most important project, was Lily. The next morning, I did something I had not done in years. I did not go to the office. I called my boss and I told him I was taking a leave of absence. "For how long?" he asked, surprised. "For as long as it takes," I said. My new life began that day, a life where my family came first. I went to Lily's room. She was still in bed, her eyes sad. I sat next to her. "Lily," I said, "you are not going to school today." She looked at me, confused. "And you are not going back?" I continued, "until we are both ready." "We?" she asked. "Yes, we," I said with a smile. "You and me. We are going to learn English together. We will be a team." For the first time in a long time, I saw a tiny spark of light in her eyes. I had no idea how to teach a language. I was a businessman, but I knew one thing. I had to start with what she loved. I went to her bookshelf and I took down her old picture books, the ones from when she was very small. The pages were soft and worn. We sat on the floor together. I opened the first book. There was a picture of a cat. "What's this, Lily?" I asked gently. She looked at it. "Cat," she whispered. Good, I said with a big, enthusiastic smile. A big orange cat. Can you say that? Orange cat. Orange. Cat, she repeated. Her voice was shy. We went through the whole book like that. Dog, house, tree, sun. They were simple words, but each word she said was a small victory. I praised her for everything. I clapped my hands. I made silly faces. I wanted her to feel that learning was not scary. It was a game. We did this every day, for hours. We read all her old books. Then we went to the library and got new ones. Simple ones with big pictures and few words. Slowly, very slowly, things started to change. She started to look forward to our English time. She would wait for me in the living room with a pile of books. I started to see things about my daughter I had never seen before. I saw how she would wrinkle her nose when she was thinking hard. I saw how her whole face would light up when she learned a new word she liked. I saw her kindness, her intelligence, her gentle spirit. I had been living in the same house with this amazing person, but I had never really known her. I realized her biggest fear was making a mistake. She was a perfectionist. She was afraid of looking stupid. So I made mistakes on purpose. I would point to a picture of a cow and say, "Look, a chicken!" She would look at me, and then a small giggle would escape. "No, Daddy," she would say, smiling. "That's a cow." "Oh, a cow! You are so smart." I would say. I wanted to show her that making mistakes was okay. It was normal. It was even funny. Our house, which had been so quiet and formal, was now filled with laughter. We sang silly English songs. We danced around the living room. We played games where we had to name everything in the room in English. Maria would watch us, a happy, peaceful smile on her face. One evening, she came to me. "I have my husband back," she said, her eyes wet with tears. "And Lily, she has her father back." I hugged her. I knew she was right. I had been lost, and now I was home. We started a new family rule. At the dinner table every night, we could only speak in English. It was our English table. At first, it was very hard. Our conversations were simple. "Pass the salt, please. This food is good." We used our hands a lot. We drew pictures on napkins. It was a slow, clumsy dance of communication. But we were doing it together, as a family. The big, lonely dining room was now the happiest room in the house. Lily's confidence began to bloom, like one of her beloved flowers. She started speaking in longer sentences. She would tell me about her day, about a dream she had, about a funny thing our cat did. Her voice was still soft, but it was not shaky anymore. It was becoming steady. It was becoming hers. One sunny afternoon, we were in our garden. Lily was watching a butterfly flying from flower to flower. She was so captivated. She turned to me, her eyes shining with excitement. "Daddy, look," she said, pointing. "The butterfly is dancing. It's kissing all the flowers. It has yellow wings and black dots, and it's flying so fast, like it's happy because the sun is out." She spoke without stopping. The words just flowed out of her, a beautiful stream of English. She was not thinking. She was not translating. She was just sharing her joy with me. I stood there, completely still. I listened to the sound of her voice. It was the most beautiful music I had ever heard. In that moment, I felt a happiness so pure so deep that it filled every part of me. This was success, not the numbers in my bank account, not the size of my house. This moment. The sound of my daughter's happy voice. I had spent my life chasing the wrong things. I thought success was a destination, a place of wealth and power. But I was wrong. Success is a journey. We had been learning together for months. She was a different girl. She was not without fear, but now she had courage too. I walked her to her classroom. She held my hand tightly. Before she went in, she turned to me. "I'm a little scared, Daddy," she whispered. I got down on one knee so I could look into her eyes. "I know," I said. "But look how far you have come. You are so brave. And you are not alone. I will be right here when you finish." She smiled, a small but confident smile. She gave me a quick hug, and then she walked into the classroom. That afternoon, I received a phone call. It was her teacher. My heart jumped. "Mr. David?" the teacher said. Her voice was warm and happy. "I am just calling to tell you something wonderful. Today in class, we were reading a story." I asked if anyone wanted to read a part out loud. "And you're Lily?" She raised her hand. I held my breath. She stood up in front of everyone, the teacher continued. And she read. Her English was not perfect, but her voice was clear and strong. She read with so much feeling. The whole class was silent, listening to her. When she finished, everyone clapped. She was so proud. I closed my eyes. Tears rolled down my cheeks, but these were tears of joy. My little girl had done it. She had found her voice. When she came home that day, she ran into my arms. "Daddy!" I did it! I read in front of the whole class. I hugged her tight. "I know, my love," I whispered into her hair. "I know. And I have never, ever been more proud of you." I started this journey to help my daughter learn English. But in the end, she taught me so much more. She taught me what is truly important in life. It is not about what you have. It is about who you have and the time you share together. I still have my company, but it does not have me. I work, but I do not let it control my life. My evenings and my weekends belong to my family. My real business is the business of being a father and a husband. My happiness is no longer measured in money. It is measured in small, beautiful moments. It is measured in family dinners. It is measured in shared laughter. It is measured in the clear, confident, and beautiful sound of my daughter's voice. And by that measure, I am the richest man in the world.